Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome in to the latest Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast, hosted by a host, Too Hot for Charity podcast, Too Hot for the Lions podcast. I am the Doc, John Macaroon, too hot for the internet, basically. Uncensored, unfiltered, ready to talk Detroit Lions. Big week. Let's kick it off. You know that the Detroit Lions, most people are expecting a loss against the Los Angeles Rams. Is this week a bonus week? Most people are presuming that they're going to go 3-1 now down the stretch. You presume that the Lions may lose to the Rams. Let's talk about it. Can the Lions beat the Rams? Can they go toe-to-toe with Jahmyr Gibbs? It's possible. This could be the game of the year. Next week, Lions, Rams. I want to know your early thoughts. Bam, as I bam into the microphone. I'm excited. This is supposed to be technically a day off, but we're doing stories. Our roundtable just kicked off. You can go check it out at Lions on SI. Vito and Christian gave their early thoughts about the Rams game. I'm going to give some of mine today. Big week. Smash the like button if you're going to enjoy this podcast. That's the free way to support the podcast. Members, you guys saw Dave Burkett's piece today about Taylor Decker. If you're a member, 5 days ago, there's a video talking about Taylor Decker's retirement. Go check it out. I was also in the know regarding Taylor Decker. You found out a week ago. If you check out, if you're a member of Detroit Lions on SI, today's news is not news. I did a 7-minute video detailing everything that was talked about. Members only. Hey, get a little slice of information that others don't know. The nearly 70 members, thank you. It means it's nice to build a little community of individuals that want to talk real talk about the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk about the Rams game. My early thoughts. We'll break it down all throughout the week. This is a day off, and so at 1 o'clock, I'm going to plop down on the couch. You will not get me past 1 o'clock. Most likely an hour. I got to fit it all in, right? I want to watch football. 4 o'clock, like everybody else, Packers, Bears. I want to know what you guys think. It's a mixed bag. There's no real wrong answer with who you root for. You just need really, one of the both. You need the Bears to kind of lose a lot, but also too, you want to jump the Packers. So there's a lot of convoluted ways, but in the end, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the Bears and the Packers face off. I want to see that game at 4 o'clock. Early mock drafts are out. The Lions are taking an offensive lineman in a lot of these mock drafts. I want to know your early thoughts. We got to talk about it. The calendar has shifted to December. That means we talk mock drafts a little bit. Because right now, we're going to also evaluate the playoff odds. Right now, as we speak, there's a lot of simulators. But as we talk today on this blessed Sunday, it's 50% odds you make the playoffs. 50%, the Lions are in. 50%, they're out. So we got to look to the future. We're not going to neglect the future here. And then in the end, I'll just give you my final thoughts. A quick recap. There's a 7-minute video. If you want to know my detailed thoughts about Taylor Decker and the news, I did a video on it, 7 minutes for members. The members knew. The nearly 70 members, the Taylor Decker news that we wrote today that Dave Burkett talked about was not news for our members. You knew. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to put it up on this YouTube channel, the spicy, interesting news that I find out, and I'm not going to promote it anywhere else. If you want to be a member, come get it. If you don't, go somewhere else. I've decided that I've done enough self-promotion for 15 years. You want the information? Come here. Try to bring you as much information as possible, and I'm excited to talk to you guys. It's my day off, technically. But there's no days off. I like talking about the Lions. Like, even if, I'm still going to write some articles. The podcast is now live on our podcast channel, the recap from last time. So you're always going to find some information. I can't take a day off. I like it too much. I want to talk to you people. The early people that are in here. So I'm curious. The early 100 people, smash the like button. That's all I can ask of you. And if you're a member, spam those emojis. I love to see them. Ken Ross, shout out to you. Detroit fan man. Little lighter in the load. Dolo Dynamite. Always enjoy seeing you. Anakin. Great Sunday, man. Feeling good. Rested. Oh my God. 2 days of rest does a podcaster well. Does a podcaster well. You know what? Maybe because you guys are talking about it, we'll switch the order up. I was going to talk about the Rams game first, but the blessing of doing a podcast, I can switch any order and switch it up. So, early mock drafts, because I can tie it in early to the Taylor Decker news. Early mock drafts. They got the Lions taking an offensive lineman, and a good one. Now, not reflected in the game yesterday. Georgia took Alabama again to the woodshed. But that's how it goes. Georgia's just a better program right now than Alabama. Alabama has a good coach, but they took a step down from Saban to DeBoer. That's just the way it is. Nick Saban's great. DeBoer's not. He's good. But at Alabama, that's not good enough. These last 2 years, I don't know. I'm not dialed into the heat level of the Alabama program, but I'm pretty sure his seat is starting to get warm. So, in your mind, tell me, with the news that you now are reading about Taylor Decker, who has not decided yet if he's going to come back, he's going to do a thorough evaluation. That was the crux of my video and what Dave wrote, is that he is evaluating his future. He's in pain. It's not fun. The surgery helped him, but not to the degree that he's not still dealing with pain in a tough rehab every week. He's not sleeping well. You can go read it on the Free Press site or become a member. You can see my video. Here's the question. First round. And guys, guess what? I think it's fun now to have these talks about the draft too, because that, people are starting to look at how Brad Holmes has put together drafts and said, hey, maybe they could have been done differently. He's still done a great job, but Brad Holmes and the ability to look at what the Lions need, you're still going to need a defensive end probably and an offensive lineman. What round? You guys tell me. I'm going early. That's my opinion. And I think you go offensive lineman. I love the early name that we're seeing, a left tackle from Alabama. It's pretty good. Big man, can evolve and do some things. Dolo Dynamite. We draft a center, Jake Slaughter. Anybody's catching your attention, let me know. I got a name for you that we put up yesterday that I respect from a lot of draft pundits. MC3 Who Dat. The bigger question is what we do at center. I think we do know what they do at center. It looks good. I think that what the ideal situation could be is this, MC3. And appreciate your early comments on X too, man. I love seeing it. Good questions that you ask. The Docs, the DOC's ideal starting offensive line next year is oh so sweet. I think Taylor Decker comes back for one more. I think he'll do the evaluation. I would be a little bit surprised if he retires. But if he does, you might go a draft pick. We shall see. Now, let's just say, okay, I think the odds of him retiring are like 15%. But if he retires, I would switch Sewell to left tackle. Left guard would be Mahogany. Center, Tate Ratledge. Right guard, Miles Frazier. And you just throw him out there and pray. Giovanni Manu. You drafted him. You've developed him 2 years. You got to at least see. That's what I would think day one of training camp would look like if Taylor Decker's not there. If Taylor Decker's there, the Docs, A+. The prescription that I would write would be for Taylor Decker at left tackle. Come back, I hope. But man, when you see him talk about the injury, he's grinding through it. It's a pain. But I think he's got a love of football. I think that this organization has treated him well. But when you're not sleeping well, it's a grind. Your friend just retired. We'll see. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But I told you a week ago he was evaluating it. He's been talking about it openly. It's not exclusive to me. He's talking about it to everybody that'll ask him about it. So he has been talking about it. And Taylor Decker is one of the good dudes. He's open. I think he won a media award a couple years ago for being a open book about his stuff. He's honest. And that's all you can ask for from a vet. All you can ask for from the players is don't blow smoke up my butt, man. Come on. I ask a question, just answer it. And Taylor Decker's one of those dudes. Doc's prescription, left tackle Taylor Decker, Left guard, Christian Mahogany. Center, Tate Ratledge. Right guard, Miles Frazier. Gucci man. Now, again, the best part is that you guys knew more about his outfit than I did. I just wanted to ask him some questions, keep the film rolling, and go to the next player. You guys are all like, "Ooh, look at that Gucci." I I am so far. I don't care what the players wear. I'm a grown man. I pay attention a little bit to the shine of their jewelry because it's cool to see bling. But I wouldn't know if he was wearing Gucci or a off the rack something from J.C. Penney. I wouldn't know. I wasn't even paying attention. Like I'm looking at his face, listening to his words. You all would pay attention, like, oh, look at that Gucci. I didn't even. It didn't even register in my brain. I'm a grown man, and I don't really pay attention. That's not my thing. I don't pay attention to the outfits of the players. Oh, Miles, my goodness, you look good in that Gucci. But thank you guys for at least noticing it and sharing it with me on my video. Right guard, Miles Frazier. I think he's starting to show that, oh, that's a big man that can do some things, but he needs to work on his technique. He got some rookie jitters out, and then the right tackle would be Penei Sewell, the greatest in the game. Early mock drafts, though, if you had these two positions, and I know you could go elsewhere, you could go wide receiver, you could go running back, Brad Holmes could go tight end. He could do a lot of different things, safety, but we got a lot of time for that. But for today's purposes, I would like to know from you guys. Early votes. What's the pulse? Defensive end or offensive lineman? What would you take? I think it would behoove you to target one of those two players or mix and match. Defensive end, first round, second round, offensive lineman, whatever. Detroit fan man. So Doc is locked in at Tate at offensive at center next year. Is that still a guess or somehow kind of official? I mean, it's not official yet. They got a whole offseason. We have a whole draft. But think about it. They threw him out there. You don't think he's been learning? He has the size profile of Frank Ragnow. I think they ideally want him to do that. I mean, think about it. You have your guards. Where's Tate? Maybe Miles Frazier could play center. Maybe they could mix and match and see. But there's opportunities. But I do think you draft one to develop them. But I think the guys that are in the system have a leg up. But I would go Tate Ratledge. I think he's bigger, stronger, can do some things. Second round pick. Drop the names of offensive linemen you've seen. You said it. Look at you, MC3. It's like you're programming the show. I'll share it now. A lot of the early mock drafts, he plays left tackle and can play guard. And I will share the screen. This is a player that has been heavily mocked to Detroit by a lot of the draft analysts. And so we'll give you a little taste. An early name, Caden Proctor. An early name that has been featured is a guy from Alabama that many people have a lot of respect for. Take a look at him. He was an Outland Trophy semifinalist. He didn't get to be a finalist. Caden Proctor. Always, if you come to the site, hey, spend 2 minutes watching the video. Stick with the commercial. Ignore all the side effects and watch the video. That's a free way to support. It's just, hey, look, what do you know? Now, this video, this real fast story, was shot by me. I took this video of Aiden Hutchinson, and I was the one that introed it. So it's kind of cool to create content and then to have a home to be able to it. Give a little shout out here to our videos here. Helps keep the lights on. See this? See, we're programmed to just run through a bunch of ads, but stick through them and all that good stuff. Caden Proctor is a player that, according to Dane Brugler, would be an easy sell in the Detroit Lions war room. Just showed Dan Campbell clips of the 360-pounder catching screens and lining up in the backfield, but Proctor would give the Lions a potential heir apparent at left tackle and immediate depth at guard. And then I reviewed his film. Shows a player with solid footwork, athletic, and can compete against these pro-style edge rushers. Pass blocking, you're going to like it. But he's still got to work on his run defense as a run defender. So learn more about him. That's an early name. Shout out to you, MC3. Caden Proctor. That's an early draft crush from the doc himself. You heard it here. I got a crush on Caden Proctor. Alabama. Would look nice at left tackle if left tackle Taylor Decker hangs it up. I ain't say that. $2 super chat, new member. No worries. No Lions, no worries. What games you watching today, Doc? Well, I will tell you. Let's hit the schedule here. I know for sure 4 o'clock, 4:25, the Doc is watching the Bears and the Packers intently, and I'll be tweeting during the game. So visit at Detroit Podcast. We'll tweet along. Let's look here at the schedule. And we'll tell you what's up. FUBU TV. Boom. Let's hit the guide and let's see what they're airing. Oh, of course. Now I have a nice setup. I have a lot of spots. I can do it in my office. I have 3 laptops and a screen in front of me, or I have 2 TVs downstairs. We'll have NFL Red Zone, a couple of the games. So I'm excited for the chance to sit back today, watch some football, put out some content at my own leisure. The Lions Roundtable is now out. So let's see what the networks here in Detroit are going to show the Doc. Let's see. Got all the pregame. Bengals at Bills at 1 o'clock on Fox. No real interest there. That would still make me vote for the NFL Red Zone. CBS has Steelers Ravens. Ooh, locally the 1 o'clock slate is ass. Oof, the 1 o'clock slate sucks. So I'll probably peek in more to. It's a lot of Red Zone. But, I mean, the Steelers are a clown show. You always want to see the craziness there. And then the 4 o'clock window is the Bears and Packers. Nothing else is on. So it's going to be probably main TV Steelers, the Steelers game. And then the Bears game at 4 o'clock. And then your Sunday night game tonight is, so you know the Doc's going to watch them all. I'll look here at the schedule as to what is the 8 o'clock game tonight. Please be something good. Oh, dude, guys, this is ass. Houston and Kansas City. Houston's defense is going to make me jealous, but they have a good pass rush. Good Lord. Tomorrow, Philadelphia and the Chargers. Guys, this slate is ass. Good Lord. Doc, I mean, now, if you guys are creative, you can take this and freely make it and post it for me at Detroit Podcast. Today's slate, pure ass. I got to find a way to get my graphics guy to be like, I don't want to steal Scorsese's meme, but it's really good. But officially, the unprofessional standard from today's slate is pure ass. So 4 o'clock will be the game that I'll be paying attention to. 1 o'clock looks like a day I'll just get some food and hang out. And that slate sucks. Dolo Dynamite, let me see it again here. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Super chats are always open. Smash the like button. Caleb Tiernan. Caleb Lomu. Isaiah World. I will look into all of them. I'm just starting my very basic tour of college football as we speak. It's December. It's the right time. Let's get after it. Now, the mock drafts are out. Pay attention to them. A lot of people. What do you guys think? Just a simple vote for the early 200 people in here. Defensive end or offensive lineman, and why? One of those two positions. Motor City Mia. I don't trust Brad to get Proctor, to be honest. Now, early mock drafts have the Lions close to missing the playoffs, drafting around 17th. That would be wild. Love it. Ken Ross, O line all day. Precision Staining, 7213, O line. Appreciate it. I agree. I think O line, given that you have a young guy in the wings, you can maybe go free agency, find somebody mid range. I think both of the Jets guards are free agents next season, according to MC3. Who dat? So early thoughts would be offensive line. You got to help Jared Goff. You have some replacement. You have some depth that you need to replace. Clearly, that was the reason in some of these games against opponents where you don't play well. That's why the team has struggled at times. They sit with a record of 8-5. They legitimately could be a couple games ahead. If you had an offensive line functioning on the road, you could have had victories against the Eagles. The Vikings game is really turning out to be the one loss that might end up being the loss that keeps you out. So the news of the day, clearly, and again, if you are a member of Lions on SI, it's not news. You knew about it last week, 4 days ago. I'll do all the self-promotion here on the podcast. But the news of the day, Taylor Decker has been speaking openly in the locker room. Openly. It's not a secret. Different reporters need to get it at different times. Two great reporters have talked to him in-depthly. I've been peeking around with my cell phones. Those with the knowledge told me. Oh, I did this again. The banner. Taylor Decker is evaluating his future. And it's one of those deals where when you have a player of that caliber, 10-year vet, I didn't know this was his 10th year. 10-year vet weighing his future. And a guy like that, you got to give him respect. Let me set the scene here for a couple minutes. So here's what's been going on. Taylor Decker had surgery before the year. You knew that. You follow Lions on SI. We talked to him and we shared it at training camp. The surgery has been okay, but not giving him the throughout the wear and tear of the year. He's been playing with a lot of pain. He had AC joint surgery, and unfortunately, it's wearing on him. Sleeping 5 hours, it's hurting him to pick up his kids. He's going through it. And his best friend retired, but he also is thinking about legacy. He likes being one of the old guard. He's a vet in the room. He's respected. He feels like he's playing at a decent level. But this is a grind. And the life of an NFL lineman doesn't get easier the older you get. I think he's 32 years old. He's going to be 33 in August. So he's going to weigh the decision heavily. And so he said, he's saying the same message over and over. He's going to take his time, decide, do I need surgery to play? If he's got to get surgery to play next year, you're not going to see Frank. You're not going to see Taylor. It's a major rehab. It's a lot of work. He wants to spend the offseason chilling. He wants a real offseason. But he loves the game. This is the only thing he's been doing. Imagine, all I can do is put myself in my shoes. But I do want to get your guys' opinion based on what you guys think. Should Taylor Decker hang him up? I think he gives it one more year, but calls it. This will be my last year, next year. I think he owes it to himself. He doesn't want to go out like that. I think that the Lions, realistically, with Jahmyr Gibbs, can give it a go next year. When Brad Holmes figures out the one position that the team needs to consistently win games and maybe a Super Bowl, you want to be around it. But imagine, I've been podcasting 15 years. I don't ever want to stop. On my day off, I'm doing a podcast. I like doing it. And when you have an early community, you have things to prove, you like talking, and you have a certain group of people that you're talking with regularly, it makes it fun. I'm kicking myself. I should have did video podcasts since 2019. I'm behind the curve. I just wanted to be in my comfort zone, which was open your mouth. Don't worry about what you look like. Just speak, and your words will speak for itself. But this is fun. YouTube has been a great place. It's been beneficial. It's growing. We're near 5,000 subscribers. I'm humbled. But if I had to stop, I would miss it. I would miss covering the NFL. I recently had a meeting with the big wigs, my great partners, and I said, I just want to keep doing this. My goal is to keep doing more podcasts, more videos, more memberships, more of everything. I said, I got the full energy. This isn't work. I can go. I got an engine, and this isn't work. To what? Wake up, have a cup of coffee, and talk to friends and complain that people don't invite me on their podcasts? It's a great gig. What do you mean I'm tired? This is a great gig. I know a lot of people would kill to be in my spot. So you're Taylor Decker. How are you going to hang it up? That's all you've done. So he's not going to take that decision lightly. It's going to be thought out. Talk to all your friends, talk to all your coaches, talk to everybody. Yeah, him and Graham should go out together. Listen, it's time. Guys, think about it too. The Bob Quinn line is about to fade out. Ragnow's gone. Graham's going to be gone. Taylor Decker. It's a new era, baby, for that offensive line. Manu, Mahogany, Ratledge, Frazier, Sewell. It's a new era. It'll be sad. Listen, I haven't talked to Taylor Decker all that much. I just from afar. And I say this humbly. Not because I didn't want to talk to him or there's any issues, but listen, linemen are very cerebral. They don't move the needle all that much. And it's your guys' fault. You guys don't like reading about linemen because, they're cerebral. The receivers bring the juice. You know what I mean? You guys like reading about the receivers and Aiden. You guys like reading about defensive ends. Linemen, based on analytical metrics, you guys aren't about it. I get it because they're cerebral. Very smart people. I like talking to Sewell, but he's kind of tightened the ship a little bit, kind of morphed into a leader, like keeping his quotes cerebral. So in the end, I like listening in to what these linemen have to say. And thankfully, as Taylor Decker's gotten older, he's been more insightful. But, the game, he thinks he can play for another 5 years at this level. He believes he's playing well. All right, you guys are smashing the emojis, the members. Smash those emojis. Hefe, Booner, me. What do you guys think about Taylor Decker? What's your early thoughts? What's your early gut? My early gut is he returns, but don't be surprised. Side question here from Silent Service. Doc, what do you think the plan is at safety? I think Avonte Maddox, maybe Rock Ya-Sin in the mix, and potentially, hopefully, if Kirby's not just speaking his mind, you get Kirby Joseph back. Thomas Harper, I think, is a guy that can come back, hopefully from the concussion protocol. Maybe the extra couple days gets him in this week. But if not, you got Hallett and Strickland on the practice squad. So I think you stay in-house. For those that don't know, Darnell Savage, you guys had a wish list. He got picked up. He ain't coming back. Quandre Diggs went back home to Seattle. And Justin Simmons, guys, come on. That's a desperate pick. I will say this as a side note. And listen, I'm guilty of it too. We write about it because you guys read about it. But, there's two different things here. There are things I will write about that I don't would never do. So we title it pros and cons. We say, here's maybe some reasons why. Here's reasons why we wouldn't do it. But, it's just business. You guys read it, so we talk about it. That's my pledge, is that if you guys are interested in it, I'll talk about it. I don't judge what you guys want to talk about. I reflect what you guys want to talk about. Pretty simple. But, guys, Justin Simmons, you guys looked a little desperate. Justin Simmons. Yeah. Guys, he stunk it up last year, and he ain't been on a roster. He's not the answer. He's not the answer. So, I would not think he'd be a guy. I think the line stay internal. The we're good plan. We're good in-house. We're good. Man, that injury sucks. That Brian Branch injury has got everybody shook. Smash the emoji, smash the like button. And what do you guys think about Taylor Decker? I think that he's got a fair decision to make regarding his NFL future, and he's going to make it. And his extensive quotes in the Free Press are well written and almost verbatim what he said. So, you guys want to know a secret? I'll tell you. I'm not oblivious to the techniques here, so you guys can listen in. So Dave Burkett's interviewing him, and they have a big TV in the locker room. So I'm watching TV and just listening to the conversation. So it's not rocket science. I mean, the smart thing to do, right? The TVs in there are nice. I mean, the overhaul of the locker room, I haven't said this, just a little bit of inside info. The overhaul, it's nice to be in there. They got like 4 TVs, a pool table. It's a lot. It's comfy. Like before, it felt like work. It felt like that dark wood kind of made it work. Like now you're in there, the dark colors, the dark black is nice. They got a nice TV. So Taylor's talking. You pick in and listen. And then listen, I do respect Dave so much. I've never, now, sometimes you just need the information. If I would have walked over there and recorded it, I don't think Dave would have cared. But I have so much respect for him, and I know it's a topic that he needs to get, and I listened to the whole conversation. So I genuinely don't have to do that. But, so then I went to work and picked up my 2 phones. Remember, all the best reporters have 2 phones. You're like, hey, this week, what do you know about Taylor? Yeah, I'm going to do podcasts. Yeah, I'm still a troublemaker. Yeah, I know Dan hates me. What do you know about Taylor? All right. What can I tell the people? All right. Cool. On the record, deal. All the best have 2 phones. So that's how it goes. It's pretty straightforward. You get a little nugget of info. You go, oh, let me start talking. Let me start doing some work. So, but right now it's 50-50, I would say, with Taylor Decker's future. That's the job of reporters, to get information, source it, get some people that will talk to you, clown around with you a little bit, and then get to the news of the day. What do you guys think? Should Taylor Decker fight through? Should he pass the torch to Manu? I know you guys love Giovanni Manu. You just love him. He ain't ready. So get a rookie and let him compete. All right. 30 minutes in, perfect timing. Gonna go about an hour. The Lions are going to face a test this week. And I can't wait for this week. What are your early thoughts about the Rams? What are your early thoughts? I feel like everybody's kind of just having it so it's a loss so they can say, all right, so they'll be 8-6 and then win out to be 11-6 and everybody's happy. But guys, I know the positivity and the slappy say, hey, just win out. That Bears game is not going to be easy. The Steelers may be playing for their coach. The Vikings game on Christmas, they better not spoil Christmas for Lions fans. But let's put that as a win. But those other 3 games are going to be tight. And guys, you just lost Brian Branch. And at this point, we have to account for every single game the Lions play. Who's going to get injured next? So I think it's fair to kind of start the week, at least on Sunday, kind of presuming they're going to lose this game. And as we dig into the numbers, remember, this is our first thought. First thought is the Rams are playing good. You got Matthew Stafford, Nakua at home. They got a good defensive line. But, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's emerging. And Dan found a toy that he likes. And of course, who wouldn't like Jahmyr Gibbs? And then when you pair him up with David Montgomery and you use them together wisely, and maybe you get a confident Miles Frazier with another couple opportunities there, you never know. New information. But again, you're giving up a lot of explosives. And DJ Reed and Meek Robertson need time to gel, and they didn't play well. They're on everybody's dud list from last week, which concerns me. So my early thoughts is I'm freaking concerned. But I love the fact that the Lions offense can still be, if they play well, if the offensive line holds up, they can play well. The Rams secondary is not world beaters. The opportunities that you can have to move the football, I think, are always great with Jahmyr Gibbs. And hey, my preview last week was pretty straightforward. Use Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, power the ball, and you score points. I didn't think they'd do 44 points. I thought Eberflus sucked, but not to that degree where he had no answers for the Lions. But hey, if you listen to Crunch Time, I broke it down for you to a T what was going to happen. Literally to a T. I said in the Crunch Time interview, which I had to share publicly, I'm like, man, when you're spot on, when you analyze things, it's nice to share it. You feel good. I said there's no way Eberflus is going to outmatch Dan Campbell. There was no chance of that in my mind. And then just to toot my own horn a little bit over the journalists, all the journalists dove into the numbers. On paper, the Lions are supposed to lose to the Cowboys. Look at all these DVOA numbers. Oh, look at CeeDee Lamb and look at and George Pickens. Okay, but did you guys know that there's also another aspect of sports, the psychology of sports, the fact that the Lions are gritty and tough and play physical man and want to push around a guy like George Pickens who is going to fade when it's crunch time? Numbers don't tell you that. Numbers don't tell you that Amon-Ra St. Brown playing gave the team a whole jolt. The desperation that the Lions had, that the Cowboys are overrated, that Dan Campbell's a better offensive mind for getting half of the plays over Eberflus. So remember, numbers are important, but I just think the over-reliance on numbers based on what your eyes tell you and the mood of the team is crazy to me that journalists rely on these stats to that degree to tell a story. Just open your eyes and watch. Just open your eyes and watch. You would have told you the Lions were pretty much had a strong chance to beat the Cowboys. So it was funny. Accountability report. Myself, Emmett, and Christian, we used our feel and we picked the Lions. Vito is a numbers guy. He's on paper, John, and I'm like, okay, Vito, yeah, that's good. I respect that. Yeah. Tell me the DVOA. Tell me. Yeah. The advanced pressure rate says that they're going to get to the Kenny Clark and are going to, okay, man. Okay, whatever you say. Vito, you were wrong, Mr. Journalist Vito. And I and Christian and Emmett were right. Now, I think I'm pretty much, in line with picking Lions to win a lot of games. My accountability report this year, I am not against the spread, just picking. I am 10 and no. So I picked that. I'm 11-4 picking with the Lions this year. I picked them a handful of times to lose. I picked them to win 8 times and to lose 3 times. Correctly, clearly with the Eagles and the first game against the Packers, all that fun stuff. Exactly. Anthony, I get it. People want to write about it and read about it, but it's absolutely right. Exactly. I'm going to put it a different way. Anthony Tottenham, stats on paper mean nothing. No, it's good to know. Okay, the Lions probably would have a chance to, take advantage of the Cowboys here, or they could do this. It's good to know them. It's foundationally okay, but it's not the sole reason you would use to make an analysis out in public. On paper, the Lions do this, and on paper, it's like, okay. Remember, I just tell the story for all the people that feel the need to report this way. Well, the Lions do this to make their defense. Okay. Simple story, and the common man can understand it. If the Lions score 50 points one day against a team, and then the next week they score 0 points and fumble the ball and play bad and they don't do well, they still average 25 points. Oh my God, that looks great. The Lions averaged 25 points. But didn't you know the last 60 minutes they scored 0 and played bad? But, Doc, they're still the second best offense in the league. But the last game they just scored 0 points. They look terrible. There's a lot of concern. But So that's why you can fudge around with the phony baloney numbers. But Doc, they still okay. Yeah. I don't care about your advanced pressure rate. Aiden got 0 sacks last week. I don't care. Corey's right. Sick of stats, especially pressure stats. Exactly. Are you impacting the quarterback? Are you hitting the quarterback or not? Your eyes will tell you that. So don't you know don't worry if you're not catching up with all the DVOA stats that these people throw at you. You guys are just as smart as everybody else. You see it. Lions are playing well. Lions are not playing well. And luckily, they played the Cowboys at the right time. MC3, who dat? Gibbs and Jack Campbell both getting paid. Yeah, you know Gibbs is. My God, he earned that 20 million. Good Lord. TK81. I'll give a little shout out to him because that was nice. Exactly. Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here's a stat. Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown and the Cowboys have George Pickens. Who would you rather have? But listen, I don't begrudge anybody that needs to look at numbers to formulate an opinion. I don't. That's fine. That's a strategy. What run it? Great to see you. Trust me, JMO and Amon Ra are going to torch the Rams. Gibbs and Montgomery can run on them. If the Lions defense can force a couple turnovers, Lions win easily. I love it. I'm looking. I'm looking. What? You didn't use the S word. They got Stafford. I need to see Amik and Reed with some pick sixes. I mean, look again. You didn't use the S word. Let me look again in your comment. You didn't use the S word. They got turnover. They got old man Stafford who divided the fan base, and people moved the goalposts on him 50 times just to make themselves happy. Real fast story to rehash it. This is how I made my name getting loud on the internet with Detroit Sports Podcast. And you guys paid attention to it, but kept moving the goalpost. When Matthew Stafford was about to get $25 million a year, me and my cousin Adam on Doc and Jock screamed, this will be a waste of money. The Lions are never winning a Super Bowl with Stafford. Never, ever in the history of everdom. It just you didn't feel it. Like there was always something, a turnover here, something here. Yes, the Lions and their general managership was poor. But in the end, knowing that, we said, guys, stamp it. And I know people will say you can always predict negativity and you'll always end up being right because only one team wins the Super Bowl. And I can respect that kind of commentary. I can respect people that talk about that and say, then other people would come in, other journalists would come in my mentions and say, well, John, I think he could go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. And my comment was fair. I mean, I could entertain that, but that's not an argument. I don't care about that. I cared about in Detroit, him leading a team. My opinion was never. You're never going to win. He throws too many picks. He doesn't play clean at the right time. He's aggressive, and he has to be because the team's not good enough. You are never going to win. Just move on. And this was when he got the extension, year 6, 7. Like, I was like, all right, year 5, you get to the Saints game in the playoffs early. You're like, okay. And you get to the Seahawks game, and you're like, man, you just went to the Seahawks on the road in the playoffs, and you got dogged. Like, this doesn't look right. So I was like, no. And then everyone's like, yes, he can win. And then right away he leaves and wins the Super Bowl. See, look, he's a good quarterback. He could win if you build around him. It doesn't matter. He's in Detroit. He was never going to win here in Detroit. The formula, the mix, whatever the mix was never going to happen here. But that doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback. Okay, whatever you think of him. He's a good quarterback. And maybe you apply that to Jared Goff. But at the same token, how are you going to get mad at me for critiquing a guy and making a statement like, I don't feel like Stafford is going to win a Super Bowl? Now it's a different argument with Goff. Now the real argument is, I feel like the Lions can build a Super Bowl team and just have Goff manage the game in the Super Bowl. Just get it to where you need to go. Maybe make a couple throws needed. It can happen. You can see it. Gibbs, St. Brown, JMO, a great tight end if he can stay healthy. You can build. Brett Holmes can build around Jared Goff and kind of make it so he can get carried to one. But you need that offensive line. You need everybody healthy. The puzzle keeps falling apart for the Lions because they keep getting hurt. And your quarterback can handle pressure, but sometimes the pressure can get too much. It's a league of defensive ends that if they win, it makes it tough for you. So in the end, I'm not going to claim victory on the Stafford argument. I'm just going to claim that I never got the warm fuzzies with Matthew Stafford. I was never, and plus his interviews in the media were horrendous. I don't even think I wrote a Stafford story based on a quote in my time writing for SI.com/NFL/Lions. I think towards the end he had opened up a little bit, but his interviews were tough. Nothing memorable. I look back at it now. There's nothing memorable that he said that I remember. But I got to ask it because Corey brought it up. Now, I'll play this up. You guys get the tease. I'll play this up like Thursday, Friday next week. You know what? Man. Should I get Vito in trouble? Should I assign Vito that column? Would Vito tell me, if he's doing his job properly, Stafford could win a Super Bowl with this team? What do you guys think about what Corey Patterson said? I don't have an opinion on it. I think no, he's too turnover prone. He's a little bit older. I think the Lions would this year with Stafford. I think the Lions would be 7-6. That's what they would be. Maybe you don't beat the Giants. Corey Patterson, no question Stafford can win with this team. Whew. Guys, cap removed. It's a podcast topic. If you can play GM for this week and for the rest of the year, you just say, hey, we can do each other a solid. Would you take Stafford to lead the Lions the rest of the way? Would you take Stafford with this team to lead them over Goff right now? Yes or no? There's 200 people here. I'm very curious your thoughts. I don't have thoughts on it. I would say, well, of course I have thoughts on it. I would say not looking deeply into the numbers against, the film and looking at it, I would say no. Stafford is far too turnover prone. I think that when he gets pressured, he got nervous. In Detroit, whatever happened, he just always fell by the wayside and made the one throw too many times. I would say no. I would roll with Goff. I would roll with Jared Goff to cerebrally at least protect the ball. I think what Stafford was that he knew that he had to elevate his game to carry a team that lacked talent, that never had a real running game. And so he was willing to throw the ball into some weird-ass windows. But you still had Kelvin Johnson. You still had a good tight end. And I just, for whatever reason, never wanted to watch him play football. Wow, he had a big arm. Congratulations. Can you throw it to our guys? Can you get us to the postseason? Can you stop turning it over at the worst possible times? Congratulations. You can throw the ball to a big, tall wide receiver in Calvin Johnson. Congratulations. Can you make somebody else? Can you help a football team win games? And in the end, I know QB wins are not real, but Stafford was part of the reason Lions lost games. He added to the problem. When you don't have a good defense, I am also of the opinion I'm on Team Sue. You invested in Stafford financially, it cost you Ndamukong Suh, and I would have not paid Stafford. I would have stuck with the defense that you had, stuck with Jim Caldwell, and you would have been potentially in a better spot. If you would have pivoted, if maybe you make a move and you're bold and you're Jim Caldwell and you're Martin Mayhew, and maybe you don't draft Ebron for Stafford, you draft another defender. If your eyes are like me, eyes are on defense, hey, just a rehash. and you wonder why I'm bitter and looking like this. Martin Mayhew, hey, open your eyes, sucker. There's Aaron Donald there. Open your eyes, sucker. What the hell? Just to rehash something to complain about once a week. You could have had Aaron Donald. Open your eyes, sucker. What the hell were you saying in Eric Ebron? You know, it makes me just want to take off my hat and just throw it to the ground. Open your effing eyes. You took a tight end. And then the Lions repeated it again with Hawkinson. You wonder why, Doc, you're so bitter. Doc, you're I had to declare publicly to the 97.1 host that I'm a doubter. He's all coming new to town. I'm a defender. Bro, you ain't got the scars. You're new. No way you go through the scars that I go through and then claim you're a defender. You fucking kidding me? Jeff O'Neill, Stafford was never a dick to me. No one's a dick to me. I'm nice. I smile. I have a good aura. He didn't win games. Guys, commiserate with expectation and money. He got you to the playoffs 3 times in 12 years. Sad, 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 sad. 9 times. Sort of happy once, sort of happy twice, sort of happy 3 times, and he never won a playoff game. You paid a man that much money to do nothing. Nothing. There is no resume for Matthew Stafford. Poof. Jared Goff came and erased his memory. Poof. There is no memory. A bunch of yards. And a bunch of yards when they were losing. It's true. His numbers were so inflated because his team was ass. Hey, guys, I would say, are you, with Matthew Stafford, are you allowed to have a first quarter lead? With Matthew Stafford, it felt like you were never allowed a first quarter lead. You always had to be down 10 points, and there's Stafford throwing in the fourth quarter. Or you were down 18 points, and everybody's playing prevent defense, and here comes Matthew Stafford padding his stats for another 200 yards. And everybody's like, wow, he threw the ball for 300 yards. Did you forget about the 3 interceptions? Did you forget about the losing seasons? Did you forget about the fact he never got to the postseason? Did you forget about the fact that you charged all these people all this money for nothing? For nothing. And I said, when he got his first contract, fine. You're a first round, you're a number 1 overall pick, no problem. But when you want to give him more money, based on what? I felt like it was such an easy question. If you sat down and you said, hey, look at this team we got here, whenever the contract extension was, I want to say 15, 16, 14, whenever it was. We were just early in our podcast, and Adam and I went to town on all these people. They were just screaming at us, John, you're crazy. You would give up on Stafford now? I said, yes, move on. Get somebody else. I could get somebody else to come in here. I could get a rookie to come in here and do what he's doing. No, John, no, you're so wrong. You're so negative. You're such a dumbass. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, he will leave here and you will never see a Super Bowl with him. Never. I said, there's something missing. I don't know what it is. The formula ain't right. You could just tell from the way the league was going on. And so you paid him that money. You paid him $25 million. You pay that guy $25 million after he gets you a ring, not after multiple playoff losses. So, boom. Guess what, guys? You have no Super Bowls, and I moved on. Congratulations. You have nothing to show for it. It's not an opinion now. It's fact. The Stafford era was garbage. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. Craw Dog 477. It's facts. 12 years, 3 appearances in the postseason, no playoff wins, 3 good, semi-good years, 9 disappointments. Congratulations. You paid him 35, 50, whatever amount of money you paid him over his time in Detroit. And you got nothing out of it. Nothing. Wins and losses, Super Bowls. To me, that was declarative 5-6 years in. It took the Lions 7 more years to figure it out. I gave the context, D-Dunk. The team was also not built enough. But you also could allocate some of the quarterback money to some better players and draft better and get a running back and get guys. But you went top heavy. You paid a quarterback. You paid Calvin Johnson. Maybe you could pay some defensive ends, some interior defensive linemen, some linebackers, some safeties. That team, my opinion would have been that team would have been served to go with a rookie quarterback and build all around it. That era, 2014 on, would have been served with a rookie. Game manager, go after it. But you guys wanted Stafford. Well, congratulations. He got a ring with somebody else. And he walked into the room and he said, he walked into a room and said to you guys, I don't believe anymore. I don't want to go through a rebuild. Clown. You don't want to go through a rebuild. You couldn't figure out that Dan Campbell maybe is going to be different than anything else. You should have stuck with it. I mean, most people say it's smart, but he's like, I'm out. He tapped out. The doc don't tap out. I would have stayed. I think it would have been the ultimate comeback story if he would have stayed and now led it, the Super Bowl this year. Would have been it would have been on or at the level of the Broncos' legendary quarterback John Elway. 36-year-old quarterback, gets everything together, gets a Jahmyr Gibbs, gets a J-Mo. Maybe not. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out and we'll see how it goes. But it's gonna be a fun topic: Goff and Stafford. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out this week. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out how it plays out the rest of the week, and we'll take care of it. What do you guys think about this game? What are your early thoughts? Lions or Rams? We got about 5 minutes left. Smash the like button. I've enjoyed talking about it. I got myself all riled up. That whole era just bothered me. But now we turn the page to the present, the Lions and the Rams. I feel like maybe the Lions can take some of that momentum. Maybe that extra time off can help them play well. The momentum, the grit. Oh my God, they're still, with everything that I say, I love this whole topic. They're still the Stafford slappy, still to this day. He went somewhere else and won. That just bothers me. Stafford is going to win MVP again, and you guys will still withhold his credit. Credit. I love it. Give Stafford credit. That is my favorite line. I love it. That's why I love doing this. What? It's just a lost argument. I will never support Matthew Stafford. Credit. You want me to credit Matthew Stafford? I'm in the results business. Credit Matthew Stafford. I love it. I'm gonna text my brother-in-law. They're still telling me. Exactly. They're still telling me. Oh my God. I'm gonna think about this for the whole rest of the day. They're still telling me on the internet to credit Matthew Stafford. But that's what made my job fun. That's what I was passionate about for a good couple years on the Detroit Sports Podcast. That's how I grew my discussion, was having these kind of talks. Right, exactly. Reversion to the mean. Credit for what? Exactly. Credit. He said credit. He used the word credit. I'm not going to. Oh. I love it. That's what sports is about. As my colleagues will say the same thing. They're like, well, he won with the Rams. That does me no good. That actually hurts me. Credit. Oh my God. All right. Last couple seconds here. Let me give you a quick rundown of some stuff that you need to know. And the great work at the New York Times, they have a great simulator. I think that's the one I like the most that's out there. I know Next Gen Stats has one, but I prefer the New York Times simulator. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. I'm going to hit you with a couple articles here. We'll go through it real fast, and then we'll get out of here. What do you guys right now? It's 50% that the Lions get to the postseason. Yes or no? Are you feeling the Lions are a playoff team? I feel like they are. I feel like the Lions are a playoff team. Now we can debate this with the Packers and Bears. There's a lot of convoluted, but it's in the end, you just need either or to win both games. But I do think that the Lions Bears game at the end of the year is going to mean something. But here's, just a quick rooting guide for the rest of the games at 1:00. The Seahawks and the Falcons, you want the Falcons to win. And this is on our website. Vikings at Commanders, you want the Commanders to win. Saints at Bucks, the Saints. Rams at Cardinals, the Cardinals. Bears at Packers, you want the Packers to win today. When it comes to the impact of this game, Lions fans should examine the remaining schedules for both teams. Green Bay has road games, followed by a home game with Baltimore, and they finish with Minnesota. Chicago has home games against Cleveland and Green Bay before a trip to San Francisco, and then finishing against Detroit. A Green Bay win would drop Chicago to 9-4 and guarantee the Lions a chance to pass them with a victory in Week 18. So if you want them to at least get a chance to play at home, Lions win every game, including the Rams, and the Bears got to lose some games. If Chicago were to win, it would allow the Lions to get closer, but if the Bears win out, then they'll have an advantage, and the Lions likely won't have a chance to be the division champs. There's still a small hope of the division. I would give that up, but, the game against the Bears, I think, could be a winner-take-all, winners in and losers out kind of thing. We'll see. Eagles at Chargers, you want the Chargers. So that's that. Now, the more important story that will get some valuable information here is some scenarios that have played out. The New York Times and their great writer went through some of these scenarios. So let's look at it real fast here. And it makes a lot of sense in regards to what happens if they lose to the Rams and win out. If they go 2-2, their odds pretty much dip that they're going to. If they go 2-2, the Lions' odds of making the playoffs are not great at all. So you need to go 3-1 at minimum. 4-0 is great, but if they go 3-1, which I think is the most realistic record option, I think the floor is 2-2. The next is 3-1. 4-0 is kind of tough to examine, but 3-1 makes it interesting to examine. So here's what happens. Here's the facts. And a great writer took care of it and shared with us what happens. Here's what happens. All right. If the Lions lose to the Rams, but win out, they're 95% as a wild card. That's good news. If they lose to Pittsburgh, and they beat the Rams, you're still in good shape. Losing to Pittsburgh would be tremendously terrible. If you lose to Minnesota, still in good shape. The worst scenario is if you win and lose to Chicago at the end of the year. Not good. So you can, if I went too fast, you can go back and rewind and you can see. And I posted it on X and in the story. So this story features it and also scenarios if they go 2-2. We'll give you the facts here real fast. These are just numbers, just sharing the numbers before we get out of here. So this is where I featured it in the story. The story is called The Lions Playoff Odds Greatly Improved After the Cowboys Victory. I just shared the 3-1 odds. Here's what happens if they go 2-2. Courtesy of the great former Michigan State Spartan beat writer for the New York Times and The Athletic. If you lose to Pittsburgh and Minnesota, it's 43%. If you lose to LA and Minnesota, 41%. If you lose to LA and Pittsburgh, 40%. If you lose to Pittsburgh and Chicago, 19. LA and Chicago, 16. Minnesota and Chicago, 14. So the Minnesota game on Christmas is huge. The game against Chicago is huge. The Rams game doesn't have a lot of impact, to be honest, as long as you win. All right? Capiche? Comprende? Makes sense? Yes, Motor City Mia. If we lose to LA, it's not over. But it's not over. But in the end, I am looking at it two ways. It's nice to get to the postseason. Bonus. Coffee sip. But if you lose to the Rams and you don't look good, defensive ends, rock off, it goes to show you again further that they're not going to advance that far in the playoffs or not win the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl hopes are glimmering. I mean, you don't have Brian Branch. Guys, first of all, if they still go on to win a Super Bowl this year, it would be amazing for the Lions as an organization, the story, to lose Laporta, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch, and still win a Super Bowl. That puts Brad Holmes right there with it's Les Snead, Brad Holmes, Howie Roseman. You jump Howie Roseman when you have all those injuries and still win. You jump Howie, and you're in the top three. But as a professional, listen, it's not a bad thing to be a fan. But as a professional who earns money doing this and is trying to build a platform and a website and a YouTube channel, I can't say as a professional, and in some way I am a professional earning money to do this, to lose Branch, to lose Laporta, to lose Kirby Joseph all this time, and to say that they're going to win a Super Bowl is also a little bit disrespectful to those players. So don't look at it like, oh, he's a hater. Look at it like I also value that the person that was there was a good player. They were a starter. So a lot of people will be basic and be like, you're a hater and I'm a lover and I'm better than you. And I'll be like, okay, whatever you need to say. But I look at it like I also have a little bit of value and respect for the player that went down. To not just be like, Brian Branch is out, we're winning the Super Bowl. I just looked at it on a personal level. That's a little disrespectful. 24 hours after, be like, we're good. You just lost Brian Branch, BB. You just lost BB. Brian Branch. I can't, as a human being, just be like, we lost Brian Branch. We're good. On to the Super Bowl. We beat the Patriots. All good. We're good. So think of it that way. Do not just classify me as a doubter and a hater. I've been scarred, baby. I've been scarred. We could have hit Aaron Donald. I lived through 12 years of Matthew Stafford and everybody telling me he was fine wine when he was cheap grapes. We're like, I know what fine wine tastes like. This tastes like cheap grapes. Y'all were like, you don't know fine wine. You don't know nothing. We're like, I know fine wine. I stole a lot of bottles. Oh, man. I don't know fine wine. I stole me some of the best bottles in the history of stealing. All right, let me get to your comments. A couple more minutes here, a little extra, and then we'll get out of here. Donkey Kong mock draft time, dudes. Yep, we talked about it earlier in the show. PQ, BB will be back. Let me give a quick shout out to all those here. Thank you, guys. Hit the like button. That's just a free way to support the cause. It's just lets me keep doing what I'm doing and lets me keep supporting. Also, too, if you remember, if you think that I'm selfish or whatever, I also am the leader of a team of 3 other journalists that are employed by me. Think about that on a level. I don't have to. I could be a one-man band. Take every single penny that comes in and keep it in my pocket. I could take every single penny and I bust my butt to keep the 3 guys that trust me with me for 7 years. So whatever you think of me as a person, as a personality, as a guy giving opinions, just know that I've stayed loyal to the guys that were loyal to me. And I'm loyal to my university. So Vito and Christian, they're just talented. You could see their talent from a mile away. I scoop them up fast. Emmett, I scooped up and said, God dang, man, you're a Michigan State reporter. You cover this team like it's Alabama. Like, I know the ins and out of this program from you. You tweet nonstop, bro. I'm like, this is Michigan State. So keep it that way that I lead not only myself, but 3 others. Shout out to Anne Marie, Zach. Oh, hey, it's Jessica. A lot of new people in here today. Good. Motor City Mia, Watt Run It. MC3 Who Dat is a regular. Trippy Gypsy. Thank you. Members, remember you get access to exclusive videos on demand. You get our inside nuggets from what I hear from inside Ford Field. I'll probably do today. It might be a couch day, but tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm going to wake up and crank out 5-6 videos, put them up on this YouTube channel. This channel is growing. We're near 5,000 subscribers since February. I never thought it would grow like this. Let's keep it growing. Tell somebody, hey, there's a regular guy that has reasonable opinions and is willing to back them up and talk about what he says. I'm going live 2-3 times a week. And I like taking your comments and talking about it. We always got to laugh at OSU fans. This is where you could say maybe, aggression fortune favors the bold. I understand. Bro, these kickers, man, you couldn't make a 27-yarder. You have to presume that the kicker's not going to shank it. But the pressure moments, man, it's tough. MC3, no, I don't. I think he'll battle, but you always got to keep the facts. You know who it happened to? Tracy Walker. He lost a step, and he was out the door. I just hope he comes back and can still be that guy. That's a tough injury, man. That's a tough injury. We've seen one, and it wasn't the same. So we shall see. But if anybody's going to battle back, it's going to be Brian Branch. I hope not. Watt Run It. What kind of I don't know your profile. Who do you support? Or are you a Lions fan that just thinks that we should support everything and we should support Matthew Stafford and that was a great era that we should just be happy? Tell me. I'm curious. I'm very curious. MI BRE views, me reviews, or Michigan reviews. It depends on if the whole team shows up, they can beat anyone on any given Sunday, including themselves. Now, the situation with the Lions is it's the putting together of the puzzle. When the offense shines, the defense is giving up too many explosives. That's a problem. They're missing Terrion Arnold. They're missing the physical presence that he had, the size that he had. The list this week of players that were not on the good list include DJ Reed and Amik Robertson. They didn't play well, gave up too many explosives, and Amik is gambling a little too much, giving up multiple 30-yard plus touchdowns the last couple games. They got to tighten the ship. But if you got an offense that scores 40, you can give up 30. This is a game where I truly believe the whole puzzle has to work. You got to have TK. You got to have the special teams kicking. You can't have no missed field goals. You got to have that done right. No blocked field goals. You got to have the defense not giving up that many explosives. You got to play a complete game. You can't. This is one of those games I think Dan Campbell tomorrow at this time when he speaks to the media that he'll say we got to have a complete game. Like if we play like how we played against the Eagles, it's a wrap. You're going to lose. But the Lions can pick it up. Offense, defense, special teams, they can get after it. No doubt about it. They can get after it and they can play well. And remember too, Matthew Stafford is a sitting target. So this is a game where you say, Aiden Hutchinson, go handle business later in the week, maybe tomorrow. It's a maybe tomorrow around 4. It depends. We'll start to talk about because of the fact that the pass rush, we can put pressure on Aiden to have a good game this week. So check out the roundtable. It's out. So you can check out what Vito and Christian think about this game. Their early thoughts about can the Lions beat the Rams. What do you guys think? What do you think your early thoughts are? Can the Lions pick apart Stafford? Can they do it? They also the roundtable formula is quite simple. Not to toot my own horn, but it's a real simple formula. My brain has questions and they have answers. I go, boys, I got some things I need to know from you guys. You guys are the realistic thinkers. Tell me what you think. So every week or when there's a non-game in the offseason, I go, boys, tell me what you think. And they're very measured and very, very realistic in their approach. So give them the respect, read their roundtable. Among the best thoughts in the game. Truly. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. And they produce. They're the best in the game. Good opinions. You know, we're going to talk Stafford. You know, we're going to talk golf. You know, we're going to talk about everything. Now, maybe the Rams lose today to the Cardinals. That would be something, right? Or whoever it is that they play this week. Because I felt like the Panthers' loss for the Rams was a little bit eye-opening. That kind of gives you hope, like, wait a minute. A loss to the Panthers? But the Panthers play hard. They play hard. So, thank you guys for the time. I'm going to read a couple more of your comments, and then I'm going to get out of here. I want to sit on the couch and watch some football. I got everything I want. And get after it. What do you guys think about the Rams game? Like, what's your thought level about it? The Rams are on fire. They got a good offense. They're playing well. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, man, that's going to be a tough guard. He went there and is doing some great things. He's doing some great things with Stafford. I like what I'm seeing from them. Man. And then plus two, McVay, you know, he's also a coach that is aggressive and sometimes makes the wrong calls. The keys to wisdom beating the Rams is very possible. It's going to be who throws my preliminary preliminary assessment. The team that throws the less interceptions wins next week. I predict that Goff is going to have one and Stafford's going to have three. Amik, Reed, Kirby get a pick. Listen, if Kirby plays, Kirby v. Stafford, baby. I hope Kirby. So Goff payback game again. It's in LA too. But this could be a Lions takeover game. Their fans are not that passionate. So I'm excited for the opportunity to at least analyze this game and to see how it all plays out. So today, tough test against the Rams. 50-50. Do you think the Lions still got a good shot to get to the postseason in advance? Taylor Decker, thoughts on defensive end or center? Defensive end or offensive line in the first round if you were the GM. Thanks for the 80 minutes. I enjoyed the time. Now I'm going to sit back, watch some football. Hopefully you all. Appreciate everybody. Let's have a fun Sunday. Packers Bears at 425. Let's see how it all shakes out. At Detroit Podcast, just hit the like button, become a member, join the community. Remember, I'm answering as many comments as possible. I'll be on there maybe a little bit today too. So let's talk. I look forward to talking again this week. This has been the Lone Wolves Podcast, made possible thanks to the great partner in OnSI. Stay cool, everybody, and enjoy your Lions free Sunday. But let's talk football. And if you do, I hope that you, even though you don't see me on maybe some traditional podcasts, or I'm not a guest on some podcasts left off of others, I'm still a trusted member of the Detroit Lions media, an earned spot, and one that I'm going to hold on to tightly because I value it and I respect it. And I really love being part of this YouTube community. Thanks, everybody. Let's talk soon. Detroit Lions, Lone Wolves Podcast, available on all platforms. And then to just support the site, all you got to do is go give me a click every once in a while. It's not clickbait. It's entertaining, interesting, relevant content related to the Detroit Lions. And I'm happy to put it out there for you guys.